My name is William Kellibrew, and I'm just honored to be here. And when I think of a room like this, I think of how grateful I am to be here, because in 1984 it was a different room. I woke up to the terrifying sounds of my mother screaming, and from that moment on, she was murdered, shot right in front of me. I also witnessed my 12-year-old brother get murdered, and had to beg for my life at gunpoint from a killer who had been released from prison from serving an 11.5-year sentence for second-degree murder. We didn't know that. So it was after that, in fact, the day after that, my grandfather actually shot his neighbor in front of me. This is July 2nd, 1984. And on July 3rd, 1984, my grandfather shot the neighbor, and then the 4th of July came, and you can imagine what I had to go through hearing the gunshots all over again and all over again. And so by the age of 13, I was completely drained of my dignity, completely drained of my respect for myself and respect for others, and I wanted to take my life. And at 13, I wanted to jump off the bridge, but I said, something happened. I gave William another chance that morning as I looked over the bridge, and I made it to school. And an assistant principal named Charles C. Christian called my grandmother, who made an emergency call to my grandmother, who made an emergency call to Children's Hospital, where I met my first therapist at 13. After 3 years of suffering, I started my road to recovery. And that was Christine Pierre, who was a social worker. So for social workers out there, your work counts. And just recently, after 25 years, I just got a chance today to publicly thank her. I had never seen her since that point. And today I thanked her, and I also thanked my assistant principal publicly. It was the first time that I had seen them since my childhood. To give them, just that round of applause. And since then, it's been a long road to recovery, but I took up the mantle over the past few years and have really steered the way for others who have suffered through the kind of violence that I've witnessed. And I realized that we have to take a look at we have to put our mask on first. I always think about the airplane. You have to put your mask on before you can apply it to somebody else next to you. And the Surgeon General always talks about that, and the flight attendants. But we have to do that. And for a long time, I've been putting other people's masks on, but I decided to put mine on, and now I've got it tight and in place. And so, at my university, there were two professors, Clarence Davis and Professor Barbara Harvey, who started a foundation called the William Kellibrew Foundation. I'm not even the founder. They started it, but what it did to me was it put my name on a marquee and said, you're responsible, you're accountable. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And today, we champion a collective and coordinated and proactive approach, the same kind of approach that Christine Pierre used, the same kind of approach that Charles C. Christian used and my grandmother used to get me and nurse me back to health. And today, the mission of the organization, we are a resource for individuals and institutions committed to breaking cycles of violence and poverty. We realize poverty also plays a huge role, because my mother was on welfare when she was murdered, and but we fought hard to get to where we are today. But I wouldn't be here today if my grandmother didn't jump in at the age of 10, and she took us on, and she's never looked back. And she's in the audience today, by the way. Thank you.